Welcome to my first ever Paperbacks from Hell of my own video. I probably will come up with a different name because this video was inspired by Peter Lawl's video, which he was inspired by the new book Paperbacks from Hell, which talks about a lot of old school paperbacks that were just awesome back in the heyday, but people just kind of discarded them. Didn't really care about them. They were never that big. A few people made it big, but I enjoy a lot of these books. I've read some of these. I still have a lot of reading to do in my life, and I have plenty of books to do that with. So without further ado, let's go right into it. So the first book I got here is by Shelley and Paul N. Katz. It's called Alligator. I have not read this, but it takes place in the Everglades, Florida's green hell as they call it, and it's a pretty decently lengthed book, but it's about an alligator. Yeah, it's from Australia, so they have a lot of good crocodile books. One book I want to get is Newman Worry, that was made into the movie Dark Age, which is a fantastic crocodile movie. This looks awesome as well. And speaking of alligators, I have Alligators by Guy Smith. You're going to see Guy Smith's name pop up a lot in this video or all these videos, because this is only part one. He's an infamous author of pulpy horror books from the 70s and 80s, and even now. But this one is about animal rights activists freeing reptiles from a zoo, namely alligators, and they cause havoc. This book looks just like a lot of fun. I like the little branch in there. That's the one thing I love about these older books is the covers. The covers are what sold them. Then I have the Amityville Horror. I actually got this at a local shop, which I was really impressed with because usually they don't carry... I can't find any good books in Webster's, Salvation Armies, or bookshops. They're always like dollar store bargain books that I can find everywhere. But these were something special. And this is a really good edition of the original version of Amityville, based off of a supposedly true story about a haunted house, but it's been pretty much proven to be fake. Still, it spawned a legacy. Then I have Beast by Peter Benchley. I have another edition of this, but that's a newer version, so I just threw this one in here because it's old and paperbacky. I read this, not as good as the movie, I will say that. It's still a solid creature feature. The scene with Whip fighting the squid with a chainsaw near the end is just excellent. And it's from the author of Jaws, so how much better can you actually get? Then I have one that was suggested to me by Max Hawthorne and a few people who are fans of Kronos Rising. It's called Between the Devil and the Deep. I have not read this. It's about a mysterious force links the underwater caves between America's Death Valley and Loch Ness and Scotland. And some people go exploring to see what's in the cave, and all hell breaks loose, I guess. This looks really cool. I love the cover. I think this is from 1992. Let me see. 92. And it looks like an 80s book, but a lot of 90s books are actually more scientific related to the creature feature genre instead of over-the-top action. Then I have one, I'm not even sure if it's a horror book. If you've heard of this book, let me know, because it's like, could it be about killer rats, or is it just about information about what could happen if killer rats were attacking? It's called The Black Death. Okay, so maybe it is about killer rats, but yeah, I really want to read this. I was just worried if it was going to be about like information of what could happen. It's about a plague. Then I have this awesome gem that's worth a pretty penny, The Blob. Now, The Blob is something special. It's a great 80s remake for one, an awesome 80s remake. One of the best of the three. The Blob, The Thing, and The Fly. This book looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to read because the movie was a lot of fun. Then I have one by John Hawken. Had this one for quite some time. Got some dust on it. It's called Bloodworm. Now, Bloodworm, it's going to be a B book, like a bad book, so bad it's good. That's not going to stop it from being a hell of a lot of fun. I love the cover. That is just gnarly. And it's about a worm. Then I have a book that took me like 3 times to read because before I read this book, my reading was really slow and I didn't have any interest in reading books all that much. But it's called Carnivore. Now, Carnivore is awesome. The book. The movie's kind of eh. It has lots of different kinds of dinosaurs, so that's always a plus. And there's tons of gruesome kills that were in the film, but nothing quite as graphic as this. Then I have Carnivore. Another 1992 book about a dinosaur in Antarctica, apparently. That's pretty interesting. There's a dinosaur shadow overcasting on the Arctic base. So, yeah. Then I have another book called Carnivore, but this is by Guy Smith. I don't know if it's about a dog or whatever, but it's a basic cover that grabs your attention. And Guy Smith definitely delivers. Now, I'm short for time because I have to get going somewhere. I have all the books in this franchise, so I'm going to go through them really quickly. The first one, which I recently just read, is Night of the Crabs. Entertaining as hell book. I'm starting to read Killer Crabs soon, which is the first sequel. The third installment is Crabs on a Rampage. Fourth is Crabs' Moon. And then there's The Origin of the Crabs. And Crabs, the Human Sacrifice. I also have Killer Crabs Return and Crabs Omnibus, but those are newer. But these 6 look like they're going to be a lot of fun. Tradition of Night of the Crabs. Croc. It literally says the Tradition of Night of the Crabs. But it's by David James, who I have never heard of. But this could be good. There's only so much you can do with crocodiles and rats and everything, but apparently not sharks. But Croc looks cool. Then I have a book I wanted to get for a long time, and I finally got around to getting it. It's in okay condition, not the best, but could be worse. That is The Crone. It's about a witch, which I love the cover so fucking much. It's beautiful. It's perfectly gothic, and it's just awesome. And last but not least, I actually picked this up at a Salvation Army. Could be in better condition, but it's from C.L. Grant. The Curse. The Curse, I think it takes place in an apartment. It just says tenants on the back, but I picked it up because it was an old school horror book. That's it for now. I'm going to have part 2 and 3. I'm going to go down every shelf, every 3 letters of the alphabet if I can. So I don't think I have all the letters of an alphabet, and I don't think I have any Q's. Lion Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below and leave comments and subscribe.